And Hulk. Smash.
Hulk. Probably the biggest Avenger and one of fan favorites. This guy has his own movies, appears in a few other movies. Overall, we all love that. He lacks something. Games. But he has 3 big games, only one of them is actually great, and by many fans considered the best superhero game of all time. Now, that got me wondering if fans clearly want Hulk games, why hasn't he gotten one in almost 20 years? That's ridiculous if you ask me. The biggest game of them all is Hulk Ultimate Destruction, released in 2005, and I know this will sound a little bit generic, but it really was in front of its time. I mean, this game gave the best feeling of how to be playing as Hulk, and I can definitely tell you that they almost perfected everything in this game. From insane sound effect design, gameplay that we'll talk about later, soundtrack to actually a decent story that sit well with Hulk. They really proved that they were passionate about this project. Now, the biggest question everyone had when this game first released was, how does one compare to Hulk? I mean, he's clearly abnormally big, strong and fast, so 1v1s weren't gonna cut it. So what Radical Entertainment did is constantly have 10, 15 plus enemies on you, and they were usually bigger than you. They were like pretty deadly, so it wasn't easy destroying all of them. This whole game had probably the most memorable attack moves. You had all kinds of moves, from elbow drops, Hulk busters, to throwing enemies, tanks, literally anything. And one important thing is that they were all designed good, since there were restrictions of when and where you could use them. For an example, for the elbow drop, you had to be near a high building, and the enemy had to be under you, of course, so you could climb the building and actually do some damage without jumping into nowhere. So there were a lot of times where you needed to improvise and maybe do something you didn't expect, but overall combat was really awesome. But still, no matter how good it was, it still had some flaws. One that fans hated the most was that there were enemies like the missile car that was respawning anytime you destroyed. And that's not the biggest problem, because you see, when you are moving something from one side to the other, these missiles were constantly tracking you. They had like auto trackers that was tracking you constantly and almost always hit you. And when they hit you, not only do they do quite the damage, but they stun you. So that would mean being stunned constantly while trying to bring something from point A to point B, and that would mean that thing just drops out of your hands and you need to pick it up again. So that was pretty annoying. And also, if you aren't a big Hulk fan, gameplay can become repetitive pretty soon, especially on the easier difficulties, but it depends on person to person, because most of us love running and smashing. So generally in Hulk games, what you need is a good excuse, and a proper excuse to smash. And the excuse in Ultimate Destruction was good, but it all went downhill from here. Now, after the fans were enjoying Ultimate Destruction for quite some time, something big in the background happened. Radical Entertainment weren't going to make the next game. Instead, it was Edge of Reality, who took matters into their own hands, and oh boy, are they famous for fucking up good franchises with stupid movie tie-ins. So the Incredible Hulk released the same year that the movie did, and pretty much said it was a disaster. Mind you, this game should have been based on the Incredible Hulk movie, but like 80% of it has absolutely nothing to do with the movie. Where to start, dude? There's so many bad things about this game that I don't even know where to start. So first, we gotta talk about the cutscenes. Like, what the actual fuck? They were short and were offering so little context that they were just useless. Like, we really did not need them in this game if they are going to be like that. The mission length was very inconsistent. Like, literally there were missions that were dragging on 25 plus minutes, and there were ones that lasted like 5-minute stops. Now, when I said that every good Hulk game needs a proper excuse to smash, I really meant it, because in this game you were literally just running around and smashing in a much smaller city with less enemies, and I really don't know what's Edge of Reality's problem, like genuinely. Attack moves were repetitive and weren't anything wow that changed anyone's perception of the game, because it was pretty shit. It was basically 10 hours of running around and smashing shit, and there was like 5-ish missions that added actual variety and weren't just run around and smash like every other mission was. Now, one good, I mean, if you can say it's a good thing, was that this game was open world, but the world took like, I don't know, 10 minutes for Hulk to go around, so it would have been better if it was linear, to be honest. One thing everyone loves with Hulk is that no matter how big and strong he is, he's still fast and can jump pretty far and pretty high, but as expected, in this game he wasn't jumping neither high enough, neither far enough, and even when sprinting, which is a pretty big problem. Like, if I was sprinting, let me jump faster and let me jump higher and let me jump further. There were like 2 things to collect after you do the main story, and like that's it. And the worst of them all was that audio was bugging randomly, to the point that sometimes it just stopped. Like, imagine you're in this like big boss fighting, I don't know, anyone, doesn't matter, and your audio just stops. Like, dude, what the fuck? Audio is one of the most important things after visuals, of course, in every form of entertainment. So like, what the actual fuck? The game was also crashing, story wasn't memorable at all, and it wasn't emotional in any way. Like, there are so many bad things about this game that it's just ridiculous. Funny thing about this game is that your job is to save the city, but it's you who is destroying the most of it in the first place. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Now, with all these bad stuff being said about this game, fans still wanted another Hulk game because they genuinely enjoy playing the Ultimate Destruction and enjoy generally playing these games, even if it meant just run around and smash, because sometimes all we want to do in games is exactly that. But here we are, and we haven't gotten a Hulk game in over 20 years, and the main reason behind that isn't that nobody wanted to make one, is that these movie tie-in games generally just died and nobody wanted to play them. I mean, people would play them, but they want to sell as well as games that weren't based on movies. People wanted standalone stories that brought something new instead of something they just could have seen in a movie, which, I mean, I understand that. Also, Radical Entertainment disappeared before they made a game called Prototype, which was like, what if Hulk, but legally not Hulk, you know what I mean? And we need to be honest, designing Hulk isn't easy. As I said in this video many times, you need a reason for his destruction, and with a character like Hulk, it's not easy to find one because he has no suit, he has no weapons, no special gadgets, nothing, just his enormous body. I mean, it is enough to destroy every fucking thing that comes his way, but still, like, you need to give him a purpose of destroying every fucking thing. Marvel also shifted their focus on more profitable and more popular characters like Iron Man, Spider-Man, Wolverine, which made Hulk become kind of a background support character, we can say. And if all of a sudden someone was to release a Hulk game, they would be competing with dozens of other superhero games and with one of the best Ultimate Destruction, so anything bad would instantly be compared to all these other games. So what would a Hulk game need to succeed in 2026? I'm gonna be honest, if I'm Hulk, let me destroy shit. And not just random stuff like some scripted buildings, some trees, fences. I need full-on bridges, houses, every fucking thing. I want to use the environment as a weapon against these monstrous creatures. One thing that stood out for me the most in the Incredible Hulk was how the civilians reacted to Hulk. They were scared shitless, and it made complete sense because who wouldn't be genuinely? That's a big thing that I believe developers of future Hulk games could forget, so if they make a game, I hope they don't forget this thing. We obviously need a good story to back this all up. We need good emotional stakes, maybe Hulk is hunted by someone, maybe he is protecting someone. We need something original that will make all this entertaining. And surely the most important thing are the bosses. They have to be insane. Guys like Red Hulk, Juggernaut, robots, massive robots, maybe even someone like, I don't know, Godzilla, King Kong. That would be pretty awesome. I would love to play that game. Every boss should match Hulk or even be stronger and bigger than him, so it will be harder to defeat. The last thing I want to know is, have you ever played any of these Hulk games? And if you did, what did you think of them? Genuinely. Let me know down in the comments, and if you want, leave a subscribe. It will really mean a lot.